All right, baby jets, we need to talk. And baby jets, I mean those who are still applying to the program and waiting for the results. I am technically still a baby jet myself. I'm still in America. So, do I really have room to talk? Maybe not. But we need to talk. This is something that at work today, I was just like, I need to go home and address this because there's been a lot of instances lately. So this low quality video, I don't have my camera or anything, so this is a laptop low quality video that we're doing today. We're going to talk about your interviews, and I'm not giving advice on interviews. I am giving advice and words of encouragement for your interview results because you guys are freaking out, and rightfully so. This is a very life-changing and stressful situation you're in right now. So you are completely fine to freak out. There is no problem with that. That is fine. I am not here to yell at you or anything for complaining all the time, but there have been dozens of posts in the last couple weeks about people freaking out about their interviews. And I did as well. I did as well when I interviewed. The first thing I did when I ended that Zoom call, because again, I interviewed in the times of COVID, I immediately called my friend and just started crying to her because I was like, I did so many things wrong. I didn't do this and I didn't do this. And I'm like, I can't tell you everything they asked me because we're not supposed to. But I was just like, I did so many things wrong. And she was like, it's fine. There's nothing you can do about it now. And she's right. There's nothing you can do about it. The interview is over. It's done. All you can do is wait, which is easier said than done. Easier said than done. Trust me. I mean, there have been 2020s who still aren't in Japan yet, and they applied in 2019. If anyone knows about tough waiting, it is them. I got upgraded in October, a little over a year after I applied to the program. I am still not over. So I am a year and a half in of waiting. I understand the waiting game is hard, and it is not something I would want to go through again, I don't think. I'm very happy that I got upgraded before the application process closed for the 2022, so I could stop doing my application and not have to go through all of that again potentially. It's not a fun situation. It's a lot like, oh, I applied and now I wait. Oh, I got an interview, now I wait. Oh, I got in, or oh, I got waitlisted, or oh, I got rejected. It's a lot of like, you do a lot, and then you hear nothing for weeks. And that is stressful. And we have this large Reddit community for the JET program. And there are a lot of helpful jets on there. There are a lot of jets who will offer you words of encouragement and advice. But there's also a lot of jets on there that are tired of seeing the same questions, and they take their frustrations out on you. And that's not okay. It's not. And there's just a lot of rude jets in general, unfortunately. But it's not okay for them to take their frustrations out on you. Yes, there have been dozens of people posting about their interviews and how well or horrible they had went. But it's so easy to just scroll right past that. I mean, we have those title blurbs for a reason. Hey, I need interview advice. I bombed my interview. They're there for a reason. If you don't want to read it, don't read it. Just scroll right past it. I don't understand why they feel the need to rant on those posts about people posting them. You can scroll right past, but some people feel the need to point out that everyone is asking that and that they're tired of seeing it. Everyone, most everyone, is going to feel like they did horrible in their interview. I felt like I did horrible in my interview, and I mean, I wasn't perfect, because clearly I didn't get shortlisted right away. but everyone's going to have a difficult interview. You walk into it knowing a basis of what to expect, but not entirely. You can't do everything to prepare yourself for the interview. I mean, you can, but you don't know everything it entails, so you can't prepare 100%. You can only prepare as much as you know. And there's usually, something they try and see if you slip up on. I've read through internet or interview posts over the last 2 years of me being on Reddit, and there have been people, who say they get a good cop, bad cop. They try and test to see if uh, you catch them saying incorrect information about your application. Uh, I'm trying to think of what some other jets have said. But like, there's always going to be, like that's any interview I've been in. There's always someone who wants to try and see if they can figure out your weaknesses because they need someone who's confident, who's quick on their feet, who's a good problem solver, who can work with others who are difficult sometimes because they know that we will possibly run into those situations in Japan. We may not have a teacher that works well with us or that we like to work with. I mean, that's any workplace you deal with. And they're trying to see how you respond to situations like that. I can't 100% say that's true, but that's how I think they approach the interview. I have no knowledge on how they grade the interviews, what they all require the interviewees to ask or do. So I don't know if they say one of you needs to be a good cop, one of you needs to be a bad cop. I've had friends who say all of my interviewees were super sweet, super nice, and we had just a bubbly, fun conversation. I've had other jets say I had two very mean ones, and then one who didn't talk at all. I think it really just depends on the approach the interviewees want to take. And know that if you had some interviewees or interviewers, I should say, interviewers is the correct word, interviewers who had more of an approach that was not as welcoming or friendly, it wasn't because they didn't think you deserved that. It's probably they wanted to see how you handled certain situations and dealing with different kinds of people. So if you had someone like that, that's okay. That's okay. That doesn't mean you botched your interview. That just means it was an interview. I mean, I interviewed for dozens of schools here in the United States, and I would have a principal be super happy and inviting and warm and welcoming, and then I would have a teacher that'd be like, well, we have this, what are you going to do about it? I see you're this, but we don't do that, what are you going to do about it? You're going to have interviews like that no matter where you go. It just seems a lot more stressful because this is something that you have waited for, because a lot of people think about applying to the program well in advance to the year they actually apply. If not, at least a couple months, and then you work hard on an application for like 2 or 3 months, and then you're in silence until you hear about interviews, and if you get an interview, then you wait a couple more weeks, you get an interview, and then you wait another 1, 2, 3 months, and then results. So it's a lot of trying to impress people, cram, and then nothing. And then you get a little bit of hope and then nothing with an interview and then nothing for a couple weeks. And so it's a lot of ups and downs with emotions. And so it's completely fine if you feel frustrated, if you feel scared, if you are stressing out about your interview. And here's the thing. I mean, I watched dozens of how to interview for the JET program, what to do in your interview, how to ace the interview. And I did every possible thing that they tried to tell me to do in those videos. And I didn't get shortlisted. And all their videos said, if you do these things, you'll get into the JET program. And I technically didn't. I got alternate. I mean, I did and I didn't. So, like, technically they were wrong. And that's why in my video that I posted about advice for interviews, that's all it is advice. And I clearly stated this does not guarantee you a position. I don't know what they're looking for. I don't know how they grade things. I don't know what they see as good and bad. You can give, average advice. You dress in a suit, look nice. This is what we were told to do by some consulates. Different things like that. There is no way to know if you passed or failed your interview. And I know that's just a hard thing to wrap your mind around because, again, I was in your shoes. I know what that feels like. And if you can't wrap your mind around that, that's okay too. You've got so many things going on in your head right now. But, you might think you botched it and you actually aced it. You won't know until those interview results come out. And that's the unfortunate truth, is that you just don't know until they come out. And it's just a lot of waiting and a lot of time. And then that time you rethink every step you made during that interview process. And that is the worst thing you can possibly do, but we're human, so that's what we do. But a lot of you are thinking you botched your interview. And I can guarantee you your interviewers did not feel the same way. Even if you don't get shortlisted, that doesn't mean you didn't interview well. It just means they didn't have enough openings for as much wonderful people that have applied to a JET. And I mean, that's kind of what alternate is for, so that if one of those people who they had point leveled or whatever at the top decides, this isn't for me anymore because of all the waiting. Some people drop out because of all the waiting or better opportunities that people they saw as equally or just as good can still get that chance. And that's how I got in. I mean, when I got alternate, I felt, oh, it's because I didn't do good enough, but I didn't do horrible because I got alternate. Like, if I wasn't what they thought would be good JET material, I would have gotten rejected. Even if you do get rejected, that doesn't mean that you're not cut out for JET. It just means you have more learning to do. And I would encourage you, if this is something you really want to do, apply again next year. Review your statement of purpose. Review your application. You've experienced the interview now. Think about what you could have done differently. See what other people talked about in their interviews. Look at if they post like, I'm freaking out about my interview. Read the comments. See the alumni. I always say that wrong. Or, veteran JETs that are on there giving advice or talking about their experiences. You can learn from that. So even if you don't get in the program, it's not a failure. You guys have learned so much from, getting everything organized for that document. I mean, think about it. You had to have very little spelling errors. You had to follow everything to a T. If you missed one step, your application would be thrown out. You showed that you could follow instructions. You showed that you were able to proofread and provide a quality piece of application. And then, you got references that were good enough, that were, very good for you to get an interview. And then, once you interviewed, you got to the interview because you impressed them. You did all of that work to impress them. I mean, I don't call that a failure. I mean, you're interviewing at the consulates for another country to potentially hire. You know how many people actually do that in the world? Do you know how many people personally who have done that? That's huge for you. So even if you don't make it into the program, you have done things that many people have not done already. And then you go to this interview for this job that you kind of have researched, but don't know a lot about because it's in an entirely different country and every situation is different. So even though you've researched so much, you're kind of still going in blindly to it. But you've gone in with a sort of passion that not everyone has when they go into a job interview. And even if you hypothetically botched your interview, you came out of that reflecting upon yourself. That is one of the greatest steps of being a teacher, which is what you're applying to be with the JET program, is to look at how you did things in your lesson and then reflect upon it at the end of the day to see if you need to completely change it, throw it out completely, or if it went well and what you could do even better next time. That's one of the biggest steps of being a teacher. And if you've done that after your interview, you're halfway to B1, even if you don't get into the JET program. So I would encourage you to try and keep your mind off of this. And I know that's easier said than done again. Find some Discord groups, find Facebook groups, find group chat, line chat, whatever, with other applicants for the 2022 application year. I should say 2021 application year, 2022 acceptance. And just talk to them. Just talk to them. Because you're all in the same boat. You're all freaking out. And when you're in a group chat with people who are in a similar situation, you feel validated with your feelings of freaking out, but then you're also able to get your mind off of it. I did that for the upgraded chat. I created the upgraded chat for 2021, and it has done so much for us. It literally has kept us level. I know I can't do anything about the waiting. I can't do anything about the veteran jets who aren't being nice to you about wanting advice on your interviews. And if you want advice from me, you can, of course, comment down below and I will try to get to them. I can't guarantee it. But you guys have done so much, and it's so easy to focus on the negative things that you did and less to see the positive. People tend to see more positive in you, and you tend to see more negative in yourself. So if you think you messed up, you probably didn't. If you did, it's a learning process, but you guys will be fine. Good luck.